I made $3,000 this month as a UGC content creator with a tiny TikTok following, and I'm going to explain why this matters to you. Back in the day, the people that made the most amount of money were people with big followings. The bigger the following you had, the more brands just threw money at you. And now that is no longer the case. You see, in 2026, it's the year of the niche creator. And I'm going to explain to you why this changed, what companies are looking for, how you can sell your services better, and why this ultimately matters to you as an agency owner, coach, consultant, or service-based business. Here's the uncomfortable truth that not many are talking about right now. Follower count does not matter like it used to, and if you're a big creator, somebody that just talks about everything and anything, you're gonna have a hard time monetizing a particular service because you are not a specialist in anything. Don't even take my word for it though. Take Alex Hormozi's, right? He's widely regarded as like the GOAT of marketing right now. So for him, he was going very niche specific, solving business problems for people with money essentially. And then what had happened was when the whole Andrew Tate thing came about and Andrew Tate started to get bigger, it was around that timeline, he started to go broader with his content. He started to talk about dating because he thought in his mind, and it makes sense, if I could appeal to a larger audience of people, one, people will get to know me better, and on the other hand, you know, I can just attract way more people in that funnel. But what he failed to realize, and what he realized later, was the fact that those leads and the people that came in were simply unqualified. And if you as a service-based business, if you're judging your success based on how much money you make, well, then you want qualified leads. You want the people to be consuming your content to be your target demographic, target avatar. And his sales team, exactly that, came up to him and they said, hey, you know, we saw a drop off in sales for acquisition.com and for his other businesses. What did you change this month or these past few months? And he said, well, the only thing we changed is we went broader with our content. And they said, hey, let's not do that. Let's go back and niche down because, you know, we're attracting a lot of unqualified leads right now. And even though we're getting a lot of views, it's ultimately not the people we ultimately want. It's the same exact thing when it comes to brand partnerships. You know, when brands reach out to you as an influencer, they're really looking for two things. They're looking for audience alignment, like is that person that we're partnering up with, is his target audience, will they like our product? And two, they care about ROI, which is why if brands have two options, they have a guy with 100,000 views, but let's say he's a fitness influencer, versus you have somebody like me who has 8,000 TikTok followers, and this company is selling hair transplant products. You have the fitness influencer that has a lot more people and can get to generate a lot more views because of their following. Or you have me who's very niche specific, but has 8,000 people that are looking for the solution that you have as, you know, as a business and as a product, right? Who do you think brands will go with? Well, before they used to go with the person that made, you know, that had a lot more views and a lot more followers. And now brands have realized that, hey, if we want to make money, we need to target the niche creators, people that are solving one particular problem for one particular person. And again, you see it with male self-improvement guys like even Iman Gadzhi. You know, before he would talk about dating and talk about, again, it was that Andrew Tate era where he would talk about a broad variety of things. And now he went niche and started to talk about his AI agency that he's building and social media marketing, etc. Like he's very specific now as far as business owner stuff. When it comes to guys like Dunham, who I used to watch, again, a male self-improvement guy, has now switched over to really focus on dating. Like that's his main thing. He doesn't really talk about fitness. He doesn't talk about mindset. He really talks about dating because he's selling a coaching program related to dating. Guys like FitX Fearless still has his male self-improvement channel, but what he's doing now is he's strictly focusing on building a personal brand for his followers. You know, how they can start making money online with social media. That way he can sell his service, his products, which is his coaching business. So my point is, all of these generic creators have now really found a lane and really went niche specific, and that is not by accident. So why does this ultimately matter to you as a service-based business? Coach, agency owner, just, you know, whatever service you're selling. Well, the good news is that YouTube and all these social media platforms have gotten so good that they want to show your channel to a specific person that is struggling with that particular problem, right? For me, for example, for my TikTok channel, I only talk about, you know, male pattern baldness and what that experience was like for me, and then, you know, how I got a hair transplant and everything related to that. And now I built up an audience of 8,000 people that have a particular problem, right? The difference between me and a big creator is the fact that I have a cult-like following on my TikTok of people that have a very similar issue, right? They all struggle with male pattern baldness. Now, when a company reaches out to me, or if I wanted to create my own, hair product, or if I wanted to, launch a coaching business related to hair, let's say, these are all people that are struggling with a particular problem. And now, you could sell these people on the solution and give them a way to actually deal with their problem. You want to help alleviate your audience's pain point. And so that's what it ultimately comes down to. Niche creators are winning in 2026. It no longer matters about having a big following, because again, the AIs have gotten so good that they want to show your content, show your videos, and show your channel to particular people that have similar interests, instead of going so broad where you're talking about, let's say, fashion, you're talking about a little bit about business, you're talking about a little bit about fitness. You see how like it starts to dilute? Maybe you're talking about pottery or something just completely random, or your love for, sculpting. All of these things get meshed, and now the YouTube algorithms are kind of confused now about who to show your content to, as opposed to you having one lane, one direction. You're solving one particular problem for one particular person, and this is how you win and make a ton of money. And you no longer need to go viral, and you no longer need to, try to appeal to everybody. That is how you win in 2026. And that is a really, really amazing blessing, because there are people with a tiny, tiny following that are making a lot of money, a lot more than people with 1 million followers or even 500,000 followers. Those people just have vanity metrics. I really just want to end with this point, is that it ultimately comes down to you. You are on social media for two reasons. You either want to get rich or you want to get famous. If you want to get famous, then you try to appeal to a broad audience, and you try to get a lot of likes and get a lot of followers. That's all great. Like if that's what you want, that's great. And maybe you get some brand deals, maybe you don't, but ultimately it's going to be a lot harder for you to either have a coaching program or ultimately solve for a particular problem, because you are a generalist. You're a general doctor. If you are a specialist, you are going to get a lot less views. You're going to get a lot less subscribers and followers. However, you have the potential to make a lot more money. So it's ultimately up to you as far as what that looks like for you and what your goals are. The easiest thing that you can do, I mean, if you're watching this now, you already have a coaching business, you already have an agency, you already have a service that you sell. But if you're starting from zero, well, then just figure out a way to package your information and knowledge that you have in your brain on a problem that you already solved, and how you can help other people basically get over that particular problem. So that is the way that you should look at it. And all the best to you in 2026. It is your year. You have no excuse. Little channels are blowing up right now as far as money. And if you want to make a lot of money, the opportunity is out there for you. Start on YouTube, start on Instagram, start on TikTok, whatever that is. Pick a long form platform, pick a short form platform, and just get after it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me see if tell me if you've also seen this drastic change right now happening in social media. It's an exciting time to be creating content. It's an exciting time to be a business owner, because again, you do not need a lot of eyeballs to make a lot of money. Guys, so thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this all makes sense. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.